you guys have chosen the hard path already. So why not lean into it even harder? Because I will say, like, I chose the uncomfortable path of going into entrepreneurship, launching into real estate, getting into starting another business with business partners that are across the country here, which is amazing. And I gave up some financial certainty, but I gained, and I will say that I've worked probably more hours than I would have worked when I was in the finance industry. And people are like, I don't know about that. It's like, well, because I was able to walk away from that at 6 or 7 p.m. and not have to go back until the morning. The problem is I had to go back.
Welcome back to Life at 10 Tenths, where we inspire you to live at the pinnacle of your ability and purpose. Matt Pinelli, my friend, is with me again today. Hello. We have a great episode for you, as always. And if you haven't gone out and checked out business planning yet, it is getting close to the time of danger zone with business planning, where all of a sudden it's like, should I even do it? It's almost the new year. I don't know if this is even worth it. Yes, it is. You should go check out our business planning. 10tenths.co. You can go right to the top of the page. You will find a banner that says business planning. Click on that. It'll give you all the information you need, and you can come join us. And if you are joining us for business planning and you turn in all your business planning pieces, we are going to be doing a mastermind throughout the year of 2026. Every quarter, we're going to bring our business plan completed people together, and we're going to celebrate having a plan, making sure we're all on pace together. And Matt, I am excited for those to kick off. But first, you have to get your business plan done. So come and take care of that. And then we will be there by your side to make sure that you have a great 2026. Matt, anything I'm missing here?
I don't think so. I'm excited about that. It is the access to the mastermind is totally complimentary for going through the business planning workshop and submitting that final plan. So there's nothing additional that you have to do other than go through the workshop and turn in your plan to us, which all the details are inside our community. So as Garrett said, go to our website, check it out, build a plan. Yeah. And it's always a good time. If you're listening to this and it's January, it's still a good time to do a business plan, and it's still available for you to do and go through our workshop. And if you're listening to this and it's May of next year or of the current year that you're in, and you're like, I don't have a plan, it's still a good time to do a business plan. We may not have the planning workshop available at that time, but we have other tools to get you going. So always go to 10tenths.co and join us, because our mission is to help you live at the pinnacle of your ability and purpose. And that means making haste, acting now, building a plan, following through, staying disciplined, all of those things, and having great goals.
Today, though, we're going to talk about excuses. Today, we're going to talk about all those things that we watch that make people go, yeah, but, and not take action right now. And we're seeing it right now. We've had some great conversations with people, Matt, as we're looking at their businesses, and we're starting to really look at potential of what these businesses can do. And I use it as I use an analogy of a sports car. And it's like, okay, you have a car that could potentially go 150 miles an hour, and you're only driving it right now at 50. Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to crank up the speed? You got the opportunities, you got all the resources right there. And it's really interesting to see how some people respond to that with, yeah, I don't want to drive that fast. Okay, I get it. That's totally fine. You don't need to have to drive that fast, but you have the potential to. Or I think my car might want to go that fast, but I don't have the infrastructure to actually support that. Which, Matt, then we got into a great conversation of, this is where interesting excuses can start to come up with the day-to-day activities of, I'm not going to do that because I'm actually trying to protect myself.
Yeah.
I think it sounds that way. It's an easy thing to say of, I'm not doing it because what if I got that good? Or the other side of it is, I was like, stop trying to solve for problems before they're problems. Like, let's go. Or is it just an excuse?
Yeah. I think it becomes this non-conscious excuse that we generate, and we all do this. And this happens when you have a goal that you really want to get to as well. Like, if you don't want to travel that fast, that's totally fine. Like, if things are good, life's good, you're content, everybody's happy, you're fulfilling your mission, everything's in alignment with your core values, like awesome. You don't have to go faster, right? There's nothing for that. But what we find is a lot of people want to. They say, oh no, these are goals that I want to do. I want to double my business. But what happens if I can't handle that business? What happens if, these people are coming to me, I need to serve them and I don't have the capacity to do it, which then leads them to, well, I'm just not going to generate that business, which the fascinating side of that, Garrett, is there's two things that come to my mind. One is the whole excuse that we're creating to protect ourselves from maybe some stress, maybe the fear of success that comes along with it. There's a lot of things that could be there. But the other side is, well, so instead of serving your people at that level that you say you want to serve, we're just going to choose not to serve them at all. That sounds not like a good solution.
And this is where I've always looked at it, is like, there's business, that business is like not going to happen or not happen because we choose to show up or not, or choose to engage. Like, it's going to happen.
Yes.
Which my feeling was always is like, if it's going to happen, would I rather do my best to be able to take care of them, or potentially have them be in the hands of maybe a realtor out there that, I mean, I'd love to say you guys are all the best, but there's a reason I got into real estate, is I worked with a realtor that I'm like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, this is painful. My daughter just experienced it in Hawaii. Now, that wasn't even real estate. That was a property management company. And it's like, she's like, oh my gosh, this was absolutely painful going through this process, trying to get phone calls back, trying just to know where she stood with things, and trying to set up appointments. This is a thing in our industry that we need to understand. And this is where you can say, look, I can either try to figure out how to support them and help them and be that person for them, or potentially let them go in the hands of somebody that, I mean, I've had experience with. That's where I was always like, we're going to figure this out. Like, we should move forward and figure this out. And I keep going back to, and I'm going to screw this quote up because it's been a while since I've been there, but at the baseball diamond in Stanford, at Stanford University, on the back of the baseball, the infield, it says you're either moving forward or you're moving backward. You're never standing still. And I think that you need to look at that with your business. I understand there's people out there going like, I'm really happy with where I am right now. I'm just going to stay here. I find that people don't do their business plans, Matt, because they're just like, I'm in a really good spot. I know my business. I understand it. It's just cranking. I don't need to do a plan right now. Those are really interesting places. When you find yourself there, ask yourself, am I trying to stand still right now? Because that doesn't exist. We're either moving forward or we're moving backward. And it's really important. Like, don't use those excuses when they come up. Like, stop, analyze, take a look at everything. There's always stuff we could be doing better. There's always things we can be improving. And sometimes it's improving on the efficiency, not doing more business. Maybe it's improving on the experience people are getting, not doing more business. It's okay.
And I'll add, if you want to maintain the quality that you have, it still requires a plan. Let's use health and fitness as an example here, right? And I experienced this a lot, particularly when, over the years when I was experimenting with different diets, different training programs. Now we have Shauna and the Own It crew in our world, which is wonderful because they can keep the rails on a lot of the times. But you'll be tracking your nutrition as an example. Like, I'm going to track my macros. I'm going to be diligent. And then you're like, okay, I feel like I got it, so I'm not going to track it anymore, which I'm not saying you have to track your nutrition all the time. But sometimes what happens is then you're like, well, I don't need to now meal prep. I don't need to plan because I know what my body needs. But that's when the creep starts to come in. So you can still maintain a great diet by having a system, having a plan of like, well, I still need to meal prep. I still need to make sure that I have the right ingredients in the household so that I can follow through. And the same thing goes for your business. Just because it's operating at the level that you want doesn't mean you can be like, well, I'm just going to kind of continue on. You still need your tracking systems and things like that. And what happens here is a lot of times, many of you want to do more. I mean, I would say the overwhelming majority of the people who are listening here probably want to do more with their business, whether that is more volume, more net income, or more time back, meaning you just want to have better efficiency, or maybe you just want to serve more families, whatever it is. what we need to then do is start with the mindset, Garrett, because what happens is people will say things like, well, since I don't have the structure in place, I can't do that. Right.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, why don't, before we start solving the structural problems that you think could happen if you double your business, how about we actually try to double the business first? Like, wouldn't it be great if the problem actually was, oh my gosh, we have way too many referrals coming in and I can't handle it. And I would guess for the majority of you, you have not experienced it yet. Therefore, why are we solving a problem that does not exist?
So let's look at it from like an assistant standpoint, Matt, because this is where I see it happen all the time, where people are like, okay, I'm thinking that maybe I need an assistant, but what if? What if I hire that assistant and I don't have enough business for them? What if, but I know if I'm going to grow, if I want to really grow this business, I need to make sure that I have support. So I got to hire that assistant. But what if it's too early? What if it's not? I mean, I don't have that business yet, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. And it's a spiral of, oh my gosh, like all this energy you're putting in to try to figure out if it's the right time to hire the assistant. Guess what? You're going to know when it's the right time to hire the assistant when all of a sudden you crank up the business over here and you hit stress levels in your business that you're like, whoa, okay, I know I can create it. I know I can make it happen. I don't really want to go to that stress level again. Let's get some support in here. Let's bring somebody in because you can create it now. And I think as you're growing, as you're building, it's one of the best ways to understand what you need, because when you're going somewhere new, you don't know what you need yet. You don't know what that looks like. So to try to figure it out beforehand of that right assistant that's going to take the right things off your plate, that you can sit there and say, look, if I just had somebody that did this, and this, I could really focus over here. You don't know it until the stress levels typically come up. Yes, you can surround yourself with mentors. You can surround yourself with people that can say, here's what I gave to my assistant that worked really well for me. But not all of that stuff is the same for everybody. There are certain things you might hand off. There's certain things you keep. There's certain things that your neighbor would hand off. And you're going, no. That's actually really important to me to make sure my hands are on that still. I'm watching this, Matt, right now with my daughter who just picked up and moved to Hawaii. Now, the time of recording this, she's about a month in right now. And it's interesting, by the time people get to listen to it, she's about a month in. What's really interesting with the journey, and a lot of people have reached out to me going, my gosh, picking up and just moving to Hawaii. Like, I don't think I could do it. And they start giving me all these fears and how is she handling this? And I'm like, she doesn't have an answer for it yet. And they're like, what do you mean she doesn't have an answer for it yet? I'm like, well, she's on a new, this is what stops so many people from picking up and moving and doing an adventure like that, is that they're trying to solve for everything before they get there. And then you just go, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to stay right here.
Yep.
And people go like, wow, here you are 20 years later and you're still living in Redding, California, which my daughter's like, I'm not living here anymore. It's a wonderful town. 21-year-olds need to go and adventure. Get out of here. It's fun to watch her figure it out as the problems come up. And it's a gift that I think I've hopefully bestowed upon her. Like, don't try, even though she tries to solve way ahead, she does have that ability of going, I'm going to get there, I'm going to get on the ground, and we're going to figure things out. And that's what you need to do with your business. You need to put yourself into the situation, create the environment that maybe you're concerned about, and solve for it once it comes up. And Matt, I think it's a really great place for people to approach their business that way.
I agree. And I think some of you might be going, wait a minute, you guys just spent the last months telling us we need a plan, we need to have certainty and all this stuff. And it's like, the plan is there so that you have certainty in correlation to your actions. What are you going to do to move towards this goal that you set? Not certainty of results. I guarantee that your results will be better if you have a plan of action. But what happens is people build this plan and then they get scared by it. And there's a lot of different fears that happen, because I think part of it, using moving to a new area as an example, is the fear of, well, what if the bad things happen? But also the fear of, well, what if things go well? right? And that brings more stuff in. And that's usually the fear that people have with their business at a certain point is, well, what if I have more business than I can handle? What am I going to do? What if I have this? What if I have too much and I drop the ball and it makes me look bad? Well, I don't want to look bad. So I know if I go slow and steady, I'll look good. And here's the question you have to ask yourself. Do you prefer, would you rather have, looking back, comfort or growth? Because if you prefer comfort over growth and your goals that you've set, by the way, as well, then you can choose that path of not moving, right? Not doing anything. But if you choose your goals and growth over comfort, then you're going to, yes, be uncomfortable. That's the whole point. When we moved to Charleston, we had the same thing, Garrett. People were saying like, wait, you're just going to move to Charleston. Do you have jobs lined up? No, not really. I mean, like I'm trying out this new thing called coaching. It's like starting out okay. What's Jen going to do? Oh, well, she's going to leave her job. Is she finding a new job? No, not yet. What? What?
Nope.
Where? Are you, all of these questions, or you can't just move across the country. It's like, yeah, you can, right? And it's like, we'll figure it out when we get there. And were there challenging times? Yeah. Now we're here almost 9 years, and it's amazing. The best decision that we've ever made. And in your business, when you look at it, okay, if you choose goals and growth, there are going to be times where you are going to drop the ball. You're going to get a referral that comes in, and you might forget to follow up. And that person might say, yeah, Matt never called me back. I don't understand why you referred me to him. He never called me back. And you're going to have to deal with that, right? And maybe you don't. Maybe as that comes in, you are able to develop a really good system to handle that. And I think that you can. That's the cool part, is like most of that you'll probably be able to handle. But I've had clients who are super successful and they're like, I'm dropping the ball. I'm not following up with these people. And you know what? It hasn't ruined their reputation. It hasn't ruined their business, because most consumers, like, they're okay. They're going to be all right. They'll find a path, whether you serve them or somebody else serves them, as you said before, Garrett. And what I want people to do is get over that mental hurdle of this limiting belief of creating an excuse just to make yourself feel good. Because that excuse that you're saying, and you're going to tell everybody, that you're going to tell your coach, that you're going to tell your coworkers, like, oh, well, I'm not doing that because I want to make sure that my clients have the best service. Don't use your clients as the excuse as to why you're not growing and serving more people when you have the capacity and the desire to do so. We have to clear that hurdle and say, I am willing to take on this fear. I'm willing to take it on head on, go forward into it, be uncomfortable, and yes, risk having something fall through the cracks, risk having something fall down, because I know that I'm going to be able to handle it when it does and correct that to make sure that the client is not the one that's on the bad side of that risk.
So I saw this happen last week. I was coaching somebody. We were talking about a goal. We were talking about, just a push goal, one that was really stressing, doing more business than they had done before. And it was really interesting how fast what they were attaching to the goal was, I don't want to work that hard, or like that could bring a lot of stress in with it also, or that's going to take me away from the people that I love if I'm doing that type of business, because I've seen that before and I've been there. And it was interesting to be like, well, what would you want? And they said, well, I really want, peace and comfort. And I want to make sure that I feel like I'm confident about the service that I'm offering and how I'm showing up. I'm like, then ask for it. Ask for both. Attach that with this stress goal that you're pushing out here, this one that's pushing your limits. Bring those two things with it and say, this is actually what I'm building. I'm not just building more deals, more money, I'm building more deals with comfort, more time with my family, more of what I want over here too. It doesn't have to be an either or. It's not a balance. And as we all grow, as we all move forward, this is where we go back to, you don't know what needs to be fixed, strengthened, improved upon until it breaks a lot of times. I have a race car sitting right outside my window here. I've been racing for, I don't know what, the past nine years or so. There are so many things on that car that we have broken. And you would laugh at us, because the first time we ever raced this car, we all sat around the pits going, we don't even know what to check on the car. Like, we're just going to go out there and race it, and hopefully we do okay. And we know we want to be first, but we don't even know what to do. I don't even know what I could spend probably $40,000 and go through every single piece and upgrade all the bushings and upgrade all the suspension and upgrade all the motor parts to be like, okay, it's bulletproof now. We're going to go out. We're going to have a great race. We don't have to worry about anything. I could do that, but I didn't. And we drove it and we went out. And after a couple races of us going like, we're bulletproof, we're awesome, things started breaking. Things started falling apart. All of a sudden, we had a race where it's a 24-hour race and we spent 2 hours on the track and the rest of the time we were in the pits wrenching and wrenching and wrenching. And we realized that we broke stuff and we're like, okay, we're going to go home and fix it. We took a mediocre approach to actually fixing the car. We went back out, failed again. And you learn and you grow and you can sit back and go, hey, you know what? If racing is, you know what, I have to do this work and I have to be improving this thing all the time, it's not for me. And I get that. And that's a place that you get to go to. But for us, it's not that. It's no, we love that time on the track. We love, it's amazing to get a trophy at the end of a race day, by the way. It is fabulous. I want that again. Like, I want to go have that trophy. I want a check in my hand at the end of it. It's only $600, but still, it's worth it. But it takes me having to go and fix the things on that car. Next week, Matt, that car is going to be on jacks in my garage. I know there's a broken piece on it. I've ordered the parts. We're going to repair it, and we're going to have it ready for race day so we can go out there and push at a level we haven't yet pushed at. Always pushing harder, always growing. But it doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice all the other things in your life to get there. And I think that this is where we try to save ourselves before the parts break by just not ever even going on the track, going like, what if I break it? What if this happens? It's okay. Break it. That's how you find out where things are holding you back, and you get to fix it. You get to make it better. And hopefully you don't have to worry about that part again. You get to go back out. But I'll tell you, there's things we fixed, and we fixed them and they've been really great. And they break.
Yeah.
And it's part of using it. It's part of getting out there and running at the highest level you can. You're going to break stuff. It's okay.
And here's what's amazing about all this too, Garrett. Everyone listening, you all chosen a path already that is less certain than a W-2 cubicle job, right? You've chosen a path that is demanding of your brain 24/7, because even though you may have set great boundaries and you don't communicate with your clients afterwards, I know that sometimes you're thinking about that deal at night before you go to bed. Hopefully you have an amazing end of day shutdown sequence that's a part of this incredible alignment loop that Life at 10 Tenths has created. And you're implementing that, which join our 11 circle, you'll learn about it, or the business planning workshop. But what I mean by that is you guys have chosen the hard path already. So why not lean into it even harder? Because I will say, like, I chose the uncomfortable path of going into entrepreneurship, launching into real estate, getting into starting another business with business partners that are across the country here, which is amazing. And I gave up some financial certainty, but I gained, and I will say that I've worked probably more hours than I would have worked when I was in the finance industry. And people are like, I don't know about that. It's like, well, because I was able to walk away from that at 6 or 7 p.m. and not have to go back until the morning. The problem is I had to go back every day. And it wasn't up to me on when I got to show up, which maybe that's fine. And if that's you, great. Maybe real estate isn't the thing, but I know it is because you're already here. Yep. And so when you lean in, and you also then have to acknowledge that you're going to have to take that route of choosing the race car that you're going to have to fix and tune up in the beginning, because we don't have the funds yet and the opportunity to buy the brand new GT3 RS that we can go put on a track and have a pit crew take care of as we go and enjoy the weekends, kind of thing. We got to work our way up to that, and that's totally okay. But you're not going to
added something to my life list. I didn't realize I needed to put that on my life list. That's awesome.
There you go.
I just all of a sudden went like, yeah, pit. I kind of like working on the car, but then I was like, there'll be a point where it'll be nice just to sit by the trailer.
Well, and then you can
just
options.
go jump in the car and go out.
Hey, do I want to take my pit crew, my GT3 RS, or do I want to take me and the run CRV?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, again, new life list, things that have been added in, and
But these are the things, if you have that of like, okay, that's where I want to get to, I'm willing to go through and put in the work and handle the things as they come, because just because you avoid challenges doesn't mean there won't be challenges in your world. They're just going to come up in different ways, because they're going to come up in ways that you're going to look back and go, I wish I went after that goal. Because most of you are going after a goal because you want a certain level of financial security. Let's just be honest. With a lot of you, you're like, well, I really want to earn more money so I can put more away for my kids' college education fund. It would be great to just have more money in savings and things like that. Well, you're not going to get there by sitting around and just doing the same thing that you've done. So if you have this goal and you have this desire, put yourself in the position to fail, because it's not going to be as bad as you think. And here's the best part, Garrett, is you'll probably figure it out. You'll have all this new business coming in because you're putting in the right work that you're like, I know this is going to work. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, actually, I can refer this out. Because even though we said that the industry is filled with a lot of people who aren't that really great, it also has people who are really great, and you know who they are. And I know that you know when that one referral comes in, you're like, I can pass this off to Garrett and be confident that that's going to be taken care of because I'm at capacity. It's not what I want to do, but it's going to help me learn on how I can build my team or whatever it is so that I can keep that in-house. And at least this way, I'm going to collect a referral fee, and that person's going to be well taken care of, versus I never get to meet that person. I never get to serve them in any way, and I don't get a piece of that commission either. So it's kind of choose the win for everybody or the lose for you.
Well, and you talked about the W-2 side of business and being like the safe side of the business. It's funny. It's like I have watched more often than not, that is a false sense of security out there.
Oh, and that is true too. Yeah.
So you got this false sense of security that feels like I got to go get the good job, work for the big company, yada, yada, yada. I know I have friends right now that went that path and are all of a sudden going, wait. That's all of a sudden not working. The other side of it is that if you show up for this business, and I'll just stick down the real estate route for right now. If you show up for real estate and you apply yourself and you put in the energy and the time, it doesn't take you very long to realize that I don't know where else I would go and make this kind of money. I don't know what else I could do to replace this. So, all right, I'm going to stay here in real estate because I don't know what else to go do now, which means you're making it work. That's awesome. And that pushing and growing and building it up, very, very, very few, and I actually can't even think of any right now in my 20 some odd years of coaching and working with real estate agents. You guys figure out answers. You figure out solutions. It's part of your business that you do when you're working through transactions and negotiating. And when problems come up, you guys are great. You're masters at going, how can we work around this to hold this deal together to get these people to where they want to go? You can do that for your business too. You can do that for your goals. This is your opportunity that sits in front of you. And to think that you can only do that for other people, but you can't do it for yourself, figure out the problems when they come up and find solutions. That is you. Again, this is what led to this episode, coming up with excuses on why you're just not going to show up right now. This is your opportunity that sits in front of you. And I'm going to encourage all of you, go break things. Yeah. Go push things to the point that you're like, oh, yes, Matt all of a sudden called me and been like, I sent a referral over to you and they haven't heard from you yet. And you go, that's a breakdown. That's a broken piece. I appreciate you calling me out. I appreciate you letting me know that. I apologize. I'm going to be better. This is time for me to take a step back, figure out how can I fix that for the future. Maybe I need to hire somebody. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it was this weird thing that happened that it was like, you know what, that's outside of my norm. And it's because of all of these things that were taking place at that given time. Maybe, we talk about stress testing for our business plan on our schedule, Matt. We just did this through business planning. You might have had way more than 20% chaos going on that week. You might have been up at the 50, 75% chaos going on. It happens. And then you got to say, okay, is it something that I need to rebuild the machine for? Or can I understand that was a fluke? If you're racing, Was it a weak point on the car, or did somebody put me in the wall? Like, maybe you just got put in the wall that weekend, and it happens. You're out there, you're racing, you're pushing it. So I think there's a lot to think about as you're going through this, but be careful what you're using as excuses to try to make sure that you don't break things.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, and I'll go back to the quote that I said from Stanford, a lot of times if you do that, you're subconsciously actually moving backwards. You just don't realize it until all of a sudden you go, wait. I'm not getting the results that I used to get. I'm not having the business I used to have. Well, you're trying to stand still in a world that doesn't allow you to do that. It just doesn't. We're all growing up. We're all getting older. Time is passing. We have different moving parts that are coming in. The person that you were yesterday is not the person that you are today. You need to be evolving. We need to be growing. We need to be moving forward, whatever you choose that looks like, but no standing still. Not an option.
I will say, I'll recommend everybody, if you're facing these conversations, is instead, if you find yourself coming up with an excuse, well, I can't because, eliminate that terminology from your speech, your thought process, and ask yourself, how can I? Because if you're driving a car and the bridge is out ahead, you're going to say, well, I can't drive over that bridge.
I can jump it. No, sorry, keep going, Matt. I can clear that gap.
Right? But that's the question is, it's not, I can't drive over that. It's, can I jump it? Or how can I get across this gap? Well, maybe we could take a helicopter. Maybe we could take an airplane. Maybe we can drive around, right? It's not just, well, I can't go any further, right? And that's what a lot of you do when you come up with an excuse is instead of finding the solution to go around, you just stop. And that's when you start moving backwards. You say, well, I can't go any further, so I'm just going to stop right here, right? Because when you get to the Pacific Ocean, if you're by Garrett, or if you get to the Atlantic Ocean by me, yes, you're probably not going to drive the car any further, but you could get on a boat and keep going.
I'm putting a car on a boat tomorrow. I know how that works.
Look at that. You can even put the car on the boat.
Yeah, just it'll meet you there.
Well, so I hope you guys got some value out of this. And if you've been facing some of these excuses that are showing up, and they don't show up as excuses, by the way, they show up as reasons why not to. And I want you to find the reasons why to. And if that is also challenging, like, you'll figure out the other side of that. You'll figure out where your capacity is. And then from the financial side, talk to a financial advisor, because maybe you don't need more income. Maybe you just need more operation and structure on the back end with your investments and things like that. So be open to everything, because opportunity is all around you. And I'm so excited, Garrett, for the industry, for everyone as we go forward into 2026, because regardless of what happens in terms of interest rates and inventory and all this stuff, and 50-year loans versus portable loans versus all of these things that people are talking about, no matter what, you can have the business that you want to have. You just have to eliminate the excuses that are stopping you from thinking big enough to find the ways to get there. So if you do want some help in preparing the plan, we'd love for you to join us. 10tenths.co, that banner at the top will take you to our GPS page where you can find all the information about our business plan. If you're going to go it on your own, just start by thinking about what are your core values, what's your mission, what is your purpose, and then build a plan with goals and actions that are aligned with those values. And it'll feel so much better than just picking something out of thin air and trying to do it without any foundational vision. So
I liked your slip up there, Matt. If you're going to go it all it alone, all on your own, all alone, I'm all alone out here.
don't do it alone.
Sorry.
What do they say? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And we're here to go with you so that we can go far together, because sometimes fast runs out and you get tired and you stop. And we don't want you to stop. We want you to go. So we appreciate you guys listening to every single one of these episodes, particularly those of you who make it all the way to the end every time, because you're here and you get to hear all this little chat that we have going on. If you haven't yet checked us out on YouTube, go on YouTube, subscribe. You get to see our lovely faces, even though we may have faces for radio. Well, I do. Garrett may not, maybe not. Maybe with that beard, though, I guess.
I'm getting compliments on the beard, man.
This is why you should go to YouTube, so that you can give a grade on Garrett's beard. From people. Right? Let's do a beard rating. So you can go to YouTube and drop in the comments, 1 to 10. And maybe if you are a beard connoisseur, you can give him some tips and tricks maybe too.
See, Matt's like, if you can help him improve that thing, that would be great.
I mean, I can't talk. I don't have a beard. I know that I can grow one though too, because if any of you have ever come across my brother, he has a beard.
Maybe we should have a little healthy competition.
Jen would kill me.
Yeah, Sarah's trying. Sarah wants to kill me.
Sarah is trying. Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining us. We will catch you on the next episode. And if you found value out of this and you think somebody else will find value in it, give it a share. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back.